to Twin Peaks Rewatch Podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Kim.
And the intent, well, it was going to depend on how it could turn out, but we intended it to be a special I Want to Believe episode this week, and then on Thursday it became very clear that it wasn't happening. And no one knows. Reddit suspect that it's being held back due to lack of advertising and going to be used to pitch the new series when it comes out, or at least in conjunction with it.
So for the foreseeable, it's not coming out at all then?
No one has any idea at all. There was no clarification on release dates. There's been no new dates put forward. No one knows anything other than it's not on Disney Plus, and we can't do anything.
So what you're saying is this is now an X-File?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, let's get into cryogenic heads as well, shall we? It has a connection.
True.
Okay, but I do have other news.
Go on then.
So, on that note, though, they have started filming the new one.
Ooh.
The cast apparently have landed in Vancouver. Filming has started. No one will say anything else from that.
Good.
Apparently, there's photos of the cast outside Ryan Coogler's office, and they all had to specify how they define themselves as skeptics or believers.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of digital ink has been spilt over exactly how the new characters are going to split. Because they seem to think that the guy, Patel, is going to be more Scully-like. He himself has described himself as a believer, but only 1 time out of 10.
Okay.
It's very, very Scully-like, but we don't know. So, this week, the episode is Demons. Written by Harley Payton and Robert Engels, directed by Leslie Linker Glatter, and first broadcast on the 3rd of November 1990. Would you like to tell us what the log lady thought of the proceedings, and then also what happens?
So you want me to start with Margaret Lanterman's introduction?
I do. I mean,
Sometimes we want to hide from ourselves. We do not want to be us. It is too difficult to be us. It is at these times that we turn to drugs and alcohol or behaviour to forget that we are ourselves. This is, of course, only a temporary solution to a problem which is going to keep returning, and sometimes these temporary solutions are worse for us than the original problem. Yes, it is a dilemma. Is there an answer? Of course there is. A wise person once said with a smile, the answer is within the question.
Okay.
That all you get for that one?
Thank you, Margaret. Can you please tell us about what else happens?
Okay, our episode this time picks up where the last one left off, with a rake-wielding Harold advancing on Donna and Maddie. He is absolutely devastated and calls out at Donna for betraying his trust, accusing her of lying just like everyone else. He demands that the two of them return the diary and violently pulls it out of Maddie's grasp, causing her to scream. This triggers James bursting in and tackling Harold to the ground as he leads Donna and Maddie to safety without the diary. Meanwhile, Cooper has rescued Audrey and carries her to the bookhouse. He finds evidence that she's been drugged with heroin, and she mumbles deliriously about her throat hurting and about sinking. She tells Cooper that she prayed for him to come. Harry looks through a book of criminal photographs and recognises John Renault as the man he saw murdering Blackie. Cooper also tells him that Audrey is getting better and over the worst, but she was very, very close to a lethal dose of heroin. Cooper then meets with Ben in the dining room of the hotel and brings him back the briefcase of money. He explains about how Audrey was found at One-Eyed Jack's and that Blackie was murdered. Ben shows immediate concern for his money over Audrey, only switching after Cooper starts to look a bit suspicious of this, in which he then hugs and thanks Cooper for saving his daughter. Leo is returned to Shelly's household, into the custody of Bobby and Shelly. Tom Brockman, the insurance agent, congratulates them on their dedication to Leo after they say that they're not going to have any live-in help. Shelly signs over on this agreement, and the agent gives them their first cheque, which is way, way smaller than Bobby had planned for, making Shelly immediately worried that they're not going to be able to survive on it. Donna tells Harry about Harold and the secret diary. Harry warns her that she is like the boy who cried wolf and seems disinclined to believe her. At this point, Cooper's supervisor, Gordon Cole, arrives. He delivers a report from Albert about the hair that was found outside Cooper's room, saying it was from a vicuna coat, and also that the drug from Gerald's syringe was unique, and that the papers from the train wreck were clearly pulled from a diary. Hawk then enters, having managed to recapture Gerard, and takes him to Harry's office. Ben visits Audrey as she's recovering, but she rebuffs his words of comfort. She asks for Cooper to take her home, but Ben doesn't allow this, suggesting that they all should go together. We have a scene which infers that Josie is sleeping with Jonathan, as he's getting dressed while she is still in a state of undress, lying on the sofa. Jonathan tells her that he's got tickets for her to go back to Hong Kong and they are leaving that night. Josie argues that she first needs to be paid from the insurance money and by Ben Horn, but Jonathan says that he will kill Harry if she doesn't come with him. Maddie and James have a moment together where he apologises for the romantic confusion, and Maddie admits that she liked it. She does, however, say that he and Donna belong together, and says that she's been away from home for long enough, as she only really came for the funeral. She's going to be heading home the following day. Josie meets with Ben Horn over a glass of wine and tells him that she will not leave his office without her money. Ben threatens her with the supposed secret file he has about her late husband's death, but she responds that she has a safety deposit box full of evidence against him. Ben then signs over to her the cheque from Tokyo Bank that Mr. Tojimura previously gave to him. Meanwhile, Bobby and Shelly have a party celebrating Leo's homecoming, where they largely emasculate and humiliate him, while kissing and making out in front of him. As they're doing so, Shelly notices Leo's head move, and it causes her to panic, thus immediately killing the mood as she feels that something is horribly wrong. Cooper and Gordon Cole meet at the station house, and Gordon says that Albert will not be returning to Twin Peaks, however believes that Cooper is in over his head just like he was previously in Pittsburgh. Gordon also delivers an anonymous letter that was sent to the Home Office, which contains the move for a chess game, indicating to Cooper that it is from his previous partner? I think they mentioned he was a partner, didn't they?
Yeah, I think he was formerly Cooper's partner.
Yeah, Cooper's partner, Wyndham Earle. Ben has a meeting with Leyland Palmer, in which he says he needs Leyland back, and Leyland swears to him that he's now at 110%. Jerry is on his way to check out the new investors in Tokyo, and they need a way to delay the project, so Leyland suggests some options. Meanwhile, Harry enters Josie's house to find Jonathan carrying a lot of suitcases, and Josie explains to him that she's leaving. Harry tells her that she cannot leave because he loves her. She turns away from him. Ben meets at the hotel with Mr. Tojimura, who asks why he has received nothing when Ben has the cashier's cheque. Mr. Tojimura says he will withdraw while Ben tries to dance around his questions. They are interrupted as Leyland begins loudly singing show tunes, and Ben excuses himself to try and get him to stop. Tojimura watches this all from the bar, as Pete joins and identifies the song as being from The King and I. As Leyland and Ben exchange compliments, Pete tries really hard to engage Mr. Tojimura in a conversation, but Mr. Tojimura is not having any of this. Finally, at the police station, the officers interrogate Gerard quite violently as he begs for his medication. Cooper asks if he suffers from schizophrenia, after which he seems to have a seizure and then begins speaking in another strange voice. He claims that his name is Mike and he is an inhabiting spirit. Bob was once his familiar, but he cannot reveal where Bob came from. He says that Bob is eager for fun and everyone should run if he smiles. He then describes Bob as being some kind of parasite, saying that Bob needs a host so he can feed on fear and pleasure. Together, Cooper and Mike recite the poem that we've heard many times before. Through the darkness of futures past, the magician longs to see. One chant out between two worlds, fire walk with me. Mike claims that he once saw God and then took off his arm, but the arm remains close to Gerard in order to stop Bob. He says that the picture, the one used on the wanted posters, is Bob's true face, but only a few can see it, only if they are gifted or damned. He says that Bob has been in Twin Peaks for the last 40 years, and when Cooper asks where he is, he describes that he's in a house with many similar rooms, but occupied by different souls every night. Cooper identifies this as the Great Northern Hotel.
Thank you.
I feel a lot happened in this week's episode.
Yes, and there's one thing we kind of forgot to bring up last time, I realised, is Cooper claims he's been in Twin Peaks for 12 days.
Yeah.
Which doesn't feel right.
Well, if every episode has been roughly a day,
Yeah, although we pointed out
that's what, we're about 14 episodes in now?
yes, although we pointed out there's that weird continuity error with Truman and Josie in the pilot, where they sort of say it would have been right around this time yesterday, and they're like, no, it's 2 days ago, Truman.
You've also got to assume that Cooper at least lost a couple of days when he was shot.
Yeah, and also the timeline of they found Laura's body and Cooper is there within a matter of hours, which really gives credence to the whole Cooper's actually the killer.
You know he can't be now because Bob's been in Twin Peaks for 40 years.
That's true. We also know definitively that Bob is a possessing spirit, which is actually new information we didn't have.
Yeah.
So
we did know there was something supernatural about Bob.
We did, but it's because it was like remember at that point I made of we know who the killer is and have known for a long time, but now we have he's actually got control of someone else. We don't know who it is.
It's kind of interesting because it wasn't really until I was just looking at the Wikipedia articles that I realised that Bob's name's always written like it's an acronym. He's B.O.B.
Bob of Bob? I don't know.
I'm not sure why his name's always capitalised though.
I think it's because you've got to draw, you've got to say Bob.
Yeah, but our possessing spirit Mike doesn't get a capitalised name.
Well, clearly it's, I don't know. Presumably it's just trying to make it sinister or trying to distinguish him from Bobby, maybe.
Mm. And not our other Mike, who has apparently been absorbed by the town.
I think we need to go back to an interesting point you made first off. We'll start with Harold, because the episode starts with Harold. Have they forgotten Maddie's whole position here? It's really odd, isn't it?
I think it's jarring. Or it could be. I was actually thinking through my stance on this. I thought last time it was jarring. The fact that everybody reacts to the way Maddie looks except for Harold. But then I thought it also lends into credence that he truly knew Laura. So maybe he's the only one so far who hasn't been stumbled by this because he can tell it's not her.
That's true. You'd think it would still give you pause though if you saw someone who looked that similar.
Oh yeah, I think if somebody that I thought was dead walked into the room, even if you could rationalise immediately, it can't be her,
yeah,
you'd still double take.
Yes, because, I mean, she's wearing an awful wig, but it's not that distracting.
Yeah.
Remember who she is.
But yeah, I'm going to go down the line of this is supposed to be our indication that Harold does know her on some deeper level.
Yes. And as much as it's a kind of exciting solution to the cliffhanger last episode, what is going on with the timeline of these events? What has James been doing for the last 3 hours that ensures he can burst in at this critical moment?
So I'm just going to stand out here just in case someone screams.
Leave Maddie in the bushes drinking a coffee the entire time.
I like the idea that you've got some kind of like double level of bushes as well.
Yeah.
So you've got one row of bushes that Maddie sat behind, then another row with him sat behind watching her.
Well, to be fair, that's Jacoby in the park with the killer.
Yeah.
Because it was like Jacoby's watching Maddie and someone else is watching Jacoby.
Yeah.
So we've already done that once, but that at least made slightly more sense in this one. Because James just appears when he's needed.
Mm. What kind of a good job he is, because Harold's flipped his crazy switch.
He has. I mean, it's still one of those whole... I think they wrote them... It's one of those... They wrote a cliffhanger and they said, we don't really care how you're going to resolve this.
I feel Harold has gone from 0 to insanity very quickly there. But at the same time, I feel it's too sudden given that he's known Donna for all of a day. Because he goes down his whole streak of... Oh,
I thought you were different.
I thought you were different. I felt I could go into the outside world because I knew you and all the rest of it. It's all purely manipulative because, you wouldn't have formed this kind of dependency on somebody in the space of, meeting them twice.
Yeah. Well, I think that comes back a bit to my thing about Cooper of the whole 12 days feels too short.
Mm.
And I do wonder if this is an artifact of TV as it used to be, as we should say, because how we're watching at the moment, we could watch more than one episode at a time. But when this went out, you had no choice. You waited a week to see the next episode.
Yeah.
Unless you taped it and watched it all en masse. But that's not how it was actually intended to go. So I wonder if it's meant to be the fact that the audience has known Harold for longer than Donna does in the series, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Which is kind of weird when you put it like that. And I think that might be what they're working off of. Harold's still a jerk. I will not dispute this one. And I kind of like the fact he goes bad. And I also like that we just failed to steal the diary in all the chaos. They just didn't hang on to it when they ran out of the room. I did actually walk out the room when Donna and James start to have their teen romance thing.
You actually wandered off, didn't you? Yes,
I
I
tried to
remember.
get some more drink. I think it's the problem of it's that nothing is going to be gained from this.
No, not really. They
It's
just kind of apologise to each other a bit is all you missed.
It's a recommitment and reaffirming of the relationship.
Yeah.
And also kind of feels like that should have come after Maddie saying she's going home, because it's the whole, yeah, James, you're going to have to deal with this.
I'm glad it came before, actually, because
That's not
it
a
would
reaction,
feel
yeah.
like a rebound.
Yes.
Otherwise, you'd have the, oh, Maddie's going home, guess I'll go back to Donna then. The fact that it came before at least makes James slightly less awful.
Yes, okay. I mean, he's still kind of the whole James, just for the love of God. Oh, can you not just stick to one person and have one relationship? It's very simple.
Unless all parties are into that sort of thing.
Yes, except then. But I don't think Donna is. I think Donna's very jealous. Hooray, Audrey is rescued. I mean, she was rescued last time, but now she's in Twin Peaks. Hopefully nothing can go wrong.
Feels like it's taken a long time to get Audrey back to Twin Peaks.
Really has. I'm still not sure if she was filming something else at the time. We will have to say, we did both note that Doc Hayward, do you want to come and look at our girl who's been given heroin and almost overdosed on it? Something, anything. And also the fact that we're going to gloss over, I mean, I get it's network TV, we're going to gloss over the horrors of heroin addiction and coming off of it. But she's back. She's fine. And as we said, I think Ben Horn's going to win Worst Parent of the Year award so far.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong order of congratulating Cooper about bringing her back.
It's the fact he checks the money before asking about Audrey is what got me.
Well, I think it's a whole, he didn't expect that suitcase to come back, and the fact he's delivered the suitcase and the daughter, and then it's a case of, oh, I've still got the money.
It's how phony Ben feels in the sequence.
He does,
It's
yeah.
like the, oh no, well, that's terrible. This sort of level acting to it.
Yeah, and it's it's where you could sort of, I think it's if it was less established, you'd sort of say, wow, he's failed, or the director's failed, or something's failed, but that feels very deliberate, is that his mind is really not on Audrey at this point.
It feels a bit like whenever you have a Disney villain showing empathy in any way. I'm thinking more that it's kind of like whenever you have an irredeemable Disney villain trying to be sincere. Yeah, where they're trying to fake that they actually have any kind of empathy, like your Prince Johns, your Scars, that kind of character.
Yeah.
Where they suddenly put on the really, really fake voice. Where, they want people to kind of feel sorry for them. I don't know really how to describe that tone. But you've got the kind of idea of like when Scar does a turnabout, where Simba's got him on the ropes and he'll say something like, I'd hate to be responsible for some family member's death, or, just some offhanded comment that kind of changes the flow of a conversation.
Yeah.
It's that old Disney villains used to be the experts of this, where it was always for the audience's benefit because they are an utter irredeemable git, but they still want people around them to like them and think they're the underdog.
I can see that.
That's the tone I'm thinking of. But yeah, I totally agree with you, it almost feels like bad acting, but then at the same day, it's because we know that Ben Horn is a terrible human being.
Yeah, and we also know that he can act pretty well, and he's been doing this for a long time. Given West Side Story, which is still staggering to me. I don't think I'm ever going to get beyond this one.
I feel he's one of the most detestable characters in Twin Peaks at the moment, and that says a lot in a series that's already given us the likes of Catherine Martell and Leo.
Yes. Well, bear in mind, we have implicitly implicated that he may be Bob's host.
Or at least it's someone in the hotel.
Yes, and he kind of works in...
I feel we can scratch a lot of people off the list now if we're going to talk about Bob. In the basis of, we know that he's been in Twin Peaks for over 40 years, so if we assume he's been in the same host for over 40 years, that rules out all the younger cast.
Yeah, so I would say, did we actually really suspect many of them? Bobby is probably your best one, and he doesn't feel right.
And the mention to the hotel, we're going to assume that either he lives in the hotel or he's a guest at the hotel.
Yes, one of the two. It does weirdly put Pete back into frame as an elaborate double bluff for the pilot in that case.
Pete doesn't live in the hotel.
No, but Peter's in the hotel at the time.
Oh, if we're going for everyone in the hotel at that particular moment,
It's not clear.
then
The
that
phrasing
would
is unclear.
also add Pete, Mr. Tojimura,
Yeah.
and Leyland.
Oh no, Tojimura, though, you could say hasn't been in Twin Peaks for 40 years.
Oh, yeah, alright, yeah. That rules out Mr. Tojimura. But you've got Pete and Leyland Palmer added to the mix.
And not Audrey, because he's too young.
Audrey's too young, but it could be Jerry, Ben, or...
Jerry's not there. Jerry's in Tokyo.
Oh, no, but he lives in the hotel.
Oh, I suppose, okay, yeah.
You've got Jerry, you've got Ben, you've got Mrs. Horn, who we very rarely see.
Yep.
And you've got anyone who's currently staying in the hotel, so Agent Coop. Well,
Yes.
But he's not been in Twin Peaks for 40 years.
Yeah, and we've got Audrey's brother, who doesn't come up much.
But I guess with Bob being a parasite, you're making an assumption of it doesn't mean that it's unclear whether he's had the same host for 40 years.
Yes.
Which would mean that you couldn't rule out the younger people like Audrey.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Or whatever Audrey's brother's called, because, if he's been in the same host, they're too young. If he can skip, if we're counting he can jump hosts, it could be either of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've also still got we do assume it's at least the host was male, because the log lady told us that way back when.
Okay, so that rules out Mrs. Horn and...
Well, but if you've got a body hopping, you don't have it. I think we don't know enough about it, and also Mike is certainly... You could take what he says either way of he's always had the same host or he's stuck close to this host. It's not clear.
So in conclusion, if we're going for who's at the hotel at this precise time, our list is now Leyland Palmer, Pete Martell, or Ben Horn.
Yes. That seems to be what we've got as a short list.
However, if it's somebody if he just means it's somebody who's staying at the hotel, not they're in the hotel at this precise minute the scene's going on, it widens the net.
It does. And a whole slew of other people.
Mm.
Exciting, isn't it? Well, kind of.
The net tightens, at least.
The net tightens. So we're getting there. We shouldn't be getting there because this is not antithetical to the point of Twin Peaks, but oh well.
Mm.
Do you want to talk about the Lynch in the room?
What's that, Coop?
So, he's not behind the camera, he's not writing a word, yet David Lynch is still with us. It feels kind of insane, doesn't it?
You're gonna have to speak up, Coop, I'm hard of hearing.
And he doesn't want any vicuna because he had some for lunch.
I think the vicuna's interesting, because we discussed that because I had to Google what a vicuna coat was while we were playing, and it's one of those things where if you know what a vicuna coat is, you now have an incredibly good idea that there is only really one person who could have shot Coop.
Yes, I would say at best you can probably send it to one other person at a big stretch. But there's one name makes more sense than anyone else. However, the listening audience would do a test of do you know what vicuna is without googling it, because I'm willing to bet most of the viewing audience had no idea what that meant either.
Maybe it's one of those things at the time, though, they were more well-known.
And maybe, I mean... However, we got Golden Cole. David Lynch himself is now in the cast. We did briefly hear him before, but now we've actually seen him in person. Can't hear a thing.
What's that, Coop?
Yes. I think it's one of the ones that has this aged well, given we are playing it for laughs, but I suppose it's never to his detriment. He's not the butt of the joke, it's just that he takes Cooper aside to talk to him in private, and everyone can hear exactly what's going on from outside.
I think it's kind of fun. It's just a personality quirk for him, and it doesn't seem to be to his, as you say, it's not to his detriment. He's not really suffering. He's not ashamed of the fact he can't hear or anything like that.
I mean, it's made me think just now of it's the Anchorman 2 joke. It's like I brushed my teeth with a lobster.
Yeah.
I think we sort of said that joke's okay. It sounds like it should be crass at the first point, but it's a joke that makes no sense that he's blind for why he's done this.
I quite like the kind of vocal tick he's got going as well, where someone will say something to him and then he'll repeat it like it's his own idea.
Yes, he's hearing on some level unconsciously or something.
So you kind of say, tell him he can use my room. Ask the sheriff we can use his room, Coop. Yeah.
He is quite fun, and it's like one of the... It's strangely a scene-stealing role for the creator of the series. It's kind of odd. And I think it goes back... I think we made the point a while back, because you don't think of David Lynch as a especially fun person or a fun character, and yet here he is doing an ostensibly comedy bit.
Mm.
Also, fully on board with we've got this guy who's done nothing wrong, but Cooper's seen him in a dream, so we're going to sit him down in a chair and not give him the drugs he insists he needs to survive.
Which might be anti-schizophrenic drugs as well.
Yes, it might be absolutely vital for his well-being.
But you could go on the basis of Cooper asks him if he's schizophrenic, which he does not reply to, because there is something in common with schizophrenia drugs in his bizarre drug cocktail.
Yes.
But at the same time, if he is schizophrenic and you're denying his medicine, this could just be an episode.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, to extend from that one, we've got that bit where Cooper is talking to Harry about whether he's a good FBI agent or whatever it was, after they brought Audrey back. And Truman sort of gives him the, you're the best lawman I've ever served with. And Cooper's rattled off his, I've gone outside jurisdiction twice, I've got Audrey in trouble. It's no one's really factoring into how many laws the two of you have broken.
Mm.
But here's your supervisor from the FBI, who also doesn't get what you've broken.
But does warn you that Albert thinks you're in over your head.
Yeah, it's like, oh, fine, okay. It does seem to be that he's off, Miguel Ferrer is off filming something else, because I can't see why he's not here to deliver this himself. He's busy with something.
Mm. We've also got our second mention to Wyndham Earle.
Yes, and they're preparing the groundwork for what's coming next, because I don't think anything's ever been clear on what the network told them about Laura Palmer, as in they were told at some point you have to give us the suspect. And I don't think it was ever specified if they were given the whole, it has to be in this many episodes, and we're on countdown to it, or just you have to do it this season, but they're preparing for what's coming next. Quite impressive they seeded it as early as as the first episode of this season.
Yeah, it's been a while since we mentioned Wyndham Earle's name.
It's possible you've even forgotten about it.
Mm. Cooper plays it fast and loose.
He does, but he's also, I think it's one of the ones where I still find it such a fascinating contrast to Mulder. David Lynch's view of the FBI is unlike reality, whereas Chris Carter was much closer. There's also, I think you made the same point about Laudrey's drug recovery of he views medicine in the same way he views the FBI. He's got a vague idea how it works, but we're not going to worry about any of the details.
Mm. To get back to Mike, I think that the only real thing that we have to infer that this isn't just kind of psychological episode is the fact that he recounts the poem which Cooper previously heard in a dream.
I was going to say, because it's easy enough for Mike to have just agreed with him and he said, I saw you in my dream, and he'd just be so far gone he would just agree to that. But reciting the exact poem, we've heard a number of times now, so all this had it's either been referenced directly or inferred, like James has heard it but didn't remember it.
Yeah.
He remembered something about fire. Yes, I think that's the proof positive, at least for Cooper, that he's not crazy.
Mm.
Neither Cooper nor Mike. Things are massing.
You've also got some interesting symbolism in the things Mike said, like his, I saw God and removed my arm, but it has remained close.
Yeah.
Is Twin Peaks is full of surreality and metaphor, but the metaphor of Mike's arm is curious.
It's good writing, though, I think. It's one of these things where it's evocative and tells you nothing, but not in a frustrating way. It's there's a sense it makes sense to someone, and that you just need a bit more information.
I think the guy who plays Philip or Mike is spectacular in this sequence.
He's good at flipping.
He flips, but you can't take your eyes off him.
No.
He absolutely draws you in. Well, we said Ben Horne seems insincere.
Yeah, he seems...
This is absolutely mesmeric, this sequence, because it's actually terrifying as well. Yeah. He does this really evocative, really scary performance where he's talking about invading spirits and an entity that you should run away from if you see it smiling and all the rest of it. It's like, dear God.
Well, I think it's a difficult thing to talk about because it is because we've seen later stuff. It's Mike isn't really a good person when you get down to it, I think. When we get more of how the supernatural entities work is, he's really not on your side. He's against Bob, but that's about as far as he's going to go. At least that's what's implied. The supernatural entities are very unclear, aren't they?
Well, you have this concept throughout literature, though, of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, and lawful evil, basically.
Yeah. But it's, your Godzilla idea of the fact that Godzilla is an enemy to humans unless he has the same enemy as the humans, in which case he'll be on side for a bit.
Yeah, only up to a certain point though, because then they eventually say, no, he's just on a human side, it's fine.
Yeah. But, it's something you see again in fiction.
Yeah. But but I think it's a possible clarification that might not be entirely clear at this point, is that Mike is going to help you. He's not a good person. He's done some shady stuff to get here. Or the entity that we know as Mike. Or it's probably possible that he was villainous and that encounter with God, whatever that means, because I don't think that ever... There's no explanation further than that, is there? That's fundamentally changed Mike as a concept.
And caused him to cut his own arm off.
It's why you did that is still one of those unusual ones. But didn't you find out how the real world Mike lost his arm?
I did. It was on one of the Twin Peak Instagrams I followed the other day. There was a video that was actually filmed by David Lynch where he asked the guy to recount his story about how he lost his arm. And it is gruesome as. If you go looking for it, it's kind of interesting because he talks about it very openly, but it's not for the faint of heart. Essentially, it was a very, very horrible car accident which saw him launched 40 foot up into a tree that did it. But he had a whole out-of-body experience as well, which is what kind of makes it interesting and a bit Twin Peaks-esque, where he remembers looking down on his body, drifting over to a nearby farmhouse and waking up the farmer that lived there, who was the guy who somehow woke up, came out and found his body, essentially, and saved his life.
Amazing, really, isn't it?
But, it was just a fascinating story, and he's a really, really good storyteller, as we can tell from Twin Peaks.
Well, he seems to be a good actor, and you've got to wonder if it's one of these happenstance ones, given we know he was hired to walk out a lift, because it was just a reference to The Fugitive. Is that all he was meant to be?
Yeah.
And then they just added more stuff and repurposed him in.
Mm.
But I was just going to say, I'm trying not to be mean to Frank De Silva, but you can't help but go, Mike is on screen and acting his life out all the time. Bob generally doesn't say very much and just grins and sort of looks terrifying.
I'm not sure how much Bob has actually spoken to this point, if at all. You normally just see him kind of snarling at the camera.
Yeah, I think the most he's ever said... Oh no, he speaks briefly in Coop's dream.
Yeah.
Because it's repurposed pilot footage. He speaks quite a lot in the pilot when we get to it.
Mm.
But yeah, he hasn't said much until now. Possibly won't say much ever, I think.
Mm.
But again, I think it's the whole, he was never meant to be an actor, never wanted to be an actor, and wound up in this situation via a very strange circumstance.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who we haven't spoken about. We haven't spoken about Bobby, Shelly, and Leo.
We have to talk about Bobby, Shelly, and Leo. They have a kind of an inconsistency I think is really kind of weird.
Mm.
Because the first scene is Leo comes home, and it's all to do, we're all good, we come in tax fraud, we know, or insurance fraud, or whatever that payment is coming from.
It's an assurance adjuster that's waiting for them, so I assume it's insurance fraud.
And they've discovered that due to the horrors of the American medical system, apparently, or unscrupulous nature on his part, because he does seem a shady guy, Andrew Crombury there, that they're getting $700 a month, I think. $700 a month.
This is kind of how insurance agents are portrayed in things, though, where I think it's different in the US than it is in the UK because we have a load of checks and regulations on our insurance industry. So we have a concept in the UK whereby if a claim is valid, it must be paid out, which the US doesn't seem to have, at least based on movies I've seen and stuff. In America, they don't trust insurance so much, and this is why. So we've got this, think they're getting a payout of so much, but there are so many deductibles on it, they're getting a fraction of that.
Yeah, they weren't factoring it into the original plan they were expecting, was it 20 grand a month or something?
I can't remember what they said they were getting. It was a large sum that they could live off.
Yeah, and wouldn't work, well, actually 20 grand a month would work these days, but it'd be even better at the time.
But he says, we've had to deduce all of the kind of mobility aids and stuff like that from it.
So it's like that, and then, Shelly obviously is not very happy with Bobby for forcing them into this really terrible situation now where they've got to take care of Leo and also presumably still work, and they've got basically they've got to care for this person who is completely dependent on her.
Yeah, because they've said that they're not going to get any in-house care.
Yeah.
So purely on top of working full-time, they also have to care for Leo full-time.
Exactly. And that's the first scene. And the second scene is Leo's birthday, and it, like the previous conversation, hasn't happened. Because, like, I mean, okay, they can put on a display for Leo as much as you need it, but it's still Shelly and Bobby getting frisky. It's the whole, surely the argument and the fact that you're in a financial hole would make you less frisky?
No, we're here because of you, Bobby. This is not sexy anymore.
Exactly. It's kind of, I mean, I get the messing around in front of Leo, and it is creepy when he moves. We made the joke at the very start of the series, and you can't really ignore it, of Eric DeRay is unfortunately playing to his strengths now.
Immobile.
It's the Futurama joke of, oh, does my character now have a British accent? No, he's in a coma. Go under the sheet.
I think this is a fascinating turn about this, and it does feed in well from the bit where Cooper inferred that Shelley would regret not testifying against Leo.
Yes.
But I said to you when we were watching the scene with the birthday party is, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to feel sorry for anymore.
It's really difficult.
Because Leo is a monster, but they're completely kind of dehumanizing him.
Yes, and Shelley, I think it was different when Shelley was the abused housewife, but now it's that you're not taking the opportunity that's been given to you.
You could have had absolute freedom.
Yeah, you're choosing to live with the husk of your abusive husband.
But also, they've inferred the fact that he might get better, so
Yes.
you've got that, like, sword of Damocles kind of hanging there.
Which also makes Bobby sort of saying, oh, they said, Dr. Hayward said we need to give you a familiar stimuli and everything. It's like, Bobby, you're absolutely corrupt. Give him the stimuli. Surely you'll be saying, right, so we're not going to do that. We're going to have you facing the corner. So to look at you or something.
Yeah.
We've got to play in, because Bobby is not a murderer to our knowledge, but he is a horrible person.
Yeah.
Fascinating guy, but horrible person, drug dealer, threatened James, framed James.
I actually like Bobby a lot because I think he's an interesting character. He's not a nice character, though.
No. He's got the kind of it factor where you like watching him, and it's fun when he's on screen.
He's always so passionate and so aggressive. He's really interesting to watch. Yeah.
He's very rarely still.
Mm.
Sorry, it's sprung to me. It's like digital circus, because we've talked about it a lot recently.
Mm.
So it's like, I can kind of draw some kind of comparison between him and Jax, and it's the Bobby is there's a fundamental difference somewhere in how they are presented, where Bobby is enjoyable to watch and Jax is irritating.
I think I'm going to go on the basis of I can hear the fan base sharpening their swords now, but I'm not a Jax fan, and it's the fact that Jax bullies people and he punches down, so essentially he's attacking vulnerable women, which is something Bobby does not do.
No, that's critical. A very critical difference there.
Mm.
It's possibly that's just part of Bobby's makeup, because we have the bit I wish was universal of the experience of sleeping with Laura Palmer, and he started crying afterwards.
Yeah.
And I wanted that to just be, that happens to everyone. It's just, that's the experience for
There's
some reason.
like a help group for Laura Palmer.
Like, I'm not trying to imply it was a whole experience. It's just, it's something about it changes you.
Yeah.
You can't be the same afterwards.
I'm picturing it like, do you remember Sucker Punch, the film?
Oh, do I? Oh, I know where you're going with this one.
It's the dance where she has the main character does this dance that is supposedly the best dance you've ever seen in your life. It's hypnotic, it's mesmeric, but
Sure
it's
it is.
never shown on camera. And our belief coming out of it was that she just dances so terribly that she puts everyone to sleep. This is the experience of watching the dance is the experience of sleeping with Laura Palmer.
Yeah, okay. I do love that you can't refute this, and there is no footage of her dancing anywhere. It doesn't exist, so you can't prove it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of problems with Sucker Punch, and if anyone asks us, we can go into that at length at a different time. Because it's a film I really wanted to like, and then the experience of watching it is just infuriating from start to end.
No, it's the best music video I've ever seen.
Yes, but as a film, though, it's a whole... But no, that doesn't make any sense anymore. I mean, if you did this, that would be fine, but you didn't, so... Bobby and Shelley. I think also it reminds me a bit of... I think you made the point of everyone has a bad side to them, or a bit that makes you less sympathetic to them, or just reframes you a bit of everyone's a bit of a jerk. Because it's like, after Laura's funeral, she's mocking Leyland. Or recreating it for the patrons in the Double R Diner.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, and she's and sort of giggling the whole time, and it's the whole, Shelley, what are you doing? I thought you liked Laura.
Mm. You've got maybe a feel of, they've said there's a darkness in the town or a darkness in the woods already. You've got this feel of like Derry in the Stephen King stories,
I can see
where
that.
there is some inherent thing at the heart of Omelas that just corrupts people.
Yes. And I think we're sort of seeing Shelley become more corrupt. I mean, it's possible it's just Bobby's influence or it's just the town, yeah. But it's like she is losing sympathy. And I think, again, it's because you've been given basically the best out anyone could ever have from Leo, and you're not taking it.
Literally, your husband tried to murder you. You could have testified against him and he would have been locked away.
Because that prosecutor was not messing around. And
and they had the whole argument of he could, did you call it in absentia last time? He could testify in absentia and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So we could have just thrown the key away.
Yeah.
But no, she's put herself in the situation where there's always that permanent possibility that he's going to get better and he's not going to be happy with her.
The fact he's vocalizing and he's moving his head is already an indication that he is not as switched off as people like to make out.
I think they described him previously in the very dated medical term of being a vegetable.
Yes, I think they did.
But clearly he's not. If he's capable of movement and vocalization, that's the sign of someone on the mend.
Yes. Well, it's one of those whole, we don't have his brainwaves right now. We have his brainwaves at a point in the past. We don't know when those were actually taken.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose the last two bits to talk about then are Leyland Palmer and Mr. Tajimura. Leyland first is... He is surface-wise seems to be fine. It's not. It's a front though. Something is still badly wrong in Leyland's head.
He's 110% fine. He says so.
That's why he's singing show tunes for the King and I
Loudly.
And at a ostensibly just people trying to have the dinner.
He's also kind of fluffing the audience as he does so, doing the where have you hailed in from tonight sort of bit.
And stealing fur off of a stuffed whatever the hell that is.
Arctic fox?
Something like that, yeah. It's a very odd behaviour. That said, though, his professional capacity is intact. So he does actually... I mean, I still can't decide, because I know we've looked him up and he sort of listed as a lawyer. But some of what he's sort of claiming they're going to do to sort of stall the Ghostwood project does sound like the kind of thing an accountant would advise you on as well. He's really in the middle.
I'm still not entirely sure that David Lynch knows what an accountant does, to be honest.
Or a lawyer. It's like the FBI and
he's
medical
some sort
treatment.
of hybrid of the two.
Yeah. I mean, because I think it's you veer more towards the lawyer based on what he's saying. It's just there's enough stuff of these sounds like account procedural stuff that the lawyer isn't going to care about.
He talks about rerouting funds through the Cayman Islands and stuff like that.
Leyland's not better. He has lucid moments, it seems, but he's not better per se.
There's still like something's been shaken.
Yeah, and and also the fact that his psychosis is performing music loudly, which is an odd quirk to have. Either listening to or performing. So
he doesn't have a kind of type either, because we're doing show tunes now, and it was
swing
kind of swing previously, wasn't it? Yeah, or Mesidokes. You got a bit of kind of folk music in there too. But you also finally have, in that same sequence, first of all, you've got Ben maybe starting to come undone, given he's already given Mr. Tojimura's money away to Josie.
Yeah, it's one of those, are you sure you know what you're doing? And Josie, are you sure that check will clear? Because you're very trusting that the check... Because you asked for cash and he gave you a check.
I suppose Ben doesn't know that Josie has the triad behind her either.
No, that's been left out of the details.
So if that check bounces...
Oh boy.
Yeah. And at the same time, you have that rather lovely sequence with Pete trying to engage Mr. Tojimura as well.
Yes. And we'll put an asterisk next to Tojimura, given we've got there... You noticed something about Mr. Tojimura.
I have two observations about Mr. Tojimura. One of them only works for a contemporary audience who has access to IMDb.
Yep.
Which is Mr. Tojimura is credited as a Japanese actor. If you click on that Japanese actor, if you want to spoil everything for yourselves, you are taken to another actor's IMDb page.
We'll leave it at that.
And also the fact that Mr. Tojimura, particularly in that sequence, Pete, you can tell is wearing very heavy prosthesis.
Yeah. We watched this on a high-definition TV. You were not watching Twin Peaks on any kind of high-def equipment in the 1990s. I will bet you that on release, you would not be able to spot those flaws.
And you also wouldn't have had the power of the internet
IMDb wouldn't exist.
But I think it does help a little with the fact that Mr. Tojimura, if you know what the Japanese language sounds like, is very blatantly not Japanese.
Yeah, we're gonna. It's not that long before we'll have to talk about Mr. Tojimura in a lot more detail, so we'll leave him for now.
Yeah.
We're just if you're familiar with Twin Peaks, yeah, you know what we're gonna have to deal with in a little while.
We're doing things chronologically.
Yes. Do we have anything else for this one?
No, I think we've covered everyone. Oh, except for Nadine continuing to be Nadine-like.
Did forget about Nadine. Yes, Nadine, who is still a teenager and discovering the joys of having the house to yourself with no parents.
Ah, the things that she and Big Ed can get up to.
Are they framing it like karmic punishment? Just because every single one of Big Ed's expressions now is like, this is the worst. And it's that is it karmic punishment, or did he actually like Nadine in her hostile state as she was at the start of the series?
Mm.
Is some kind of masochistic tendency where he likes being henpecked? He won't admit to it, and he's driven him off to go and be with Norma, but he's not. That's reality to him, and obsessed cheerleader Nadine doesn't do it for him.
Yeah, it could be,
because he doesn't look happy. Because the fact that she's bright, bouncy, and not obsessed with drapes, and just more of a regular person, you think would be more appealing.
Mm. I think she's hilarious.
I know why. She's
I think
hilarious.
Nadine's wonderful.
I do like the fact that Ed has to keep on coming back with the whole, when are my parents going to come back? Oh, it won't be a few more days. Oh, it's so nice having us to ourselves. It's like, how is he going to keep this going
forever?
The fact she's not that odd reconciliation she's got where she thinks their house is her parents' house, but Big Ed is just living there anyway.
Also, the fact that despite the fact that she thinks she's like 16, she doesn't seem to reconcile the fact that Big Ed looks like he's twice her age.
No, but then she recognizes that James is her theoretical age. It's a very
strange amnesia.
I think it's an implausible mental condition that no one in reality has ever had. You can get the regression, but it's going to be the regression you're going to be fighting against the physical evidence you see of you're too old, what's happened to you?
Yeah.
So, next time is Lonely Souls.
Okay.
And for those of you keeping track at home, it involves a horse.
Oh,
we shall
finally.
say no more than there's a horse this time, and if you know anything, we're going to have to deal with this one. Rob Zombie stole this for Halloween.
Yes, almost certainly.
If you'd like to get hold of us, our email address is thingsargettingstrange42@gmail.com.
You can also find us on social media, and please do hook me up if you'd like me to present anything Twin Peaks, X-Files or Goth Merengue related at the start of the show. You can find us on Blue Sky and Tumblr at GetStrange42, and on Facebook, where we are Things Are Getting Strange, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast. Also, if you're not sick of my voice right now, I do stream live on Twitch TV. My name is AdverseCanva42, and it is Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 PM GMT, Saturdays at 5 PM GMT. At the moment, I'm playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Digimon Story Time Stranger, both on PS5.
Our theme music is Vision by Kevin MacLeod. You can find it on Computech.com. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, please remember,
you remind me today of a small Mexican Chihuahua.